Hello. Whoa, that was weird. Hello everyone, and welcome to something a little bit different than I think I have ever done on this site here, YouTube. Sorry, I'm a little tired. So this is a visual novel, actually. One of those anime visual novel type games, where it's mostly just like text scrolling and you make a choice every once in a while. I don't know how well this will do, but this is a game I played a long time ago, and it's called Kirari. It's about a band. It's sort of. It is about a band, but there's like a lot more to it than that. But it's a very, very fun visual novel. Really, really good story, I thought. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to play it, but there are two versions of this game out, and one of them is not exactly YouTube friendly. Unfortunately, I had that version, so I couldn't do anything with it. But this is supposedly the clean version of the game. It's literally labeled as Kirari All Ages version. So I'm not sure what's going to be removed. I mean, there's I obviously know some of what's going to be removed. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, because this is pretty fun. I did load it up to test it out, so there's going to be some blue text here. The blue text, if I go into the system settings here, is the messages that have been previously read. So like this very first section, it'll be like blue. Couldn't find any way to like fix that. Also, there is voice acting, but as much as I like the voice acting because I love the different characters, I am going to leave the voice acting on, but I'm probably going to do my own, as the voice acting is in Japanese, and if I didn't voice act, I feel like there would be really nothing for me to do other than sit here and let the game play for the most part. Now Maejima, the character that you play as, Maejima Shikanosuke, he doesn't have any voicing. That's what these lines are here. So I would do his. But then again, like I said, it's all Japanese, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to probably do a few episodes, upload it, and then see how it does before I record more. But if you guys enjoy, let me know if you prefer that I stay silent during the voice lines. I want to do the voicing just because, like, if somebody is deaf or something, or not deaf, but blind, I guess it might not be on YouTube, but, like, they might be able to still hear, and in that case, like, they wouldn't understand what's going on because, it's in freaking Japanese. So, I don't know, you guys tell me what you think. If it seems like it's going over pretty well, but nobody comments, as seems to be normal for my channel, where I get, decent views on videos but no comments, I'll probably just keep doing what I'm doing. But if there are people that are like, hey, I enjoy it, but I like the voices, maybe don't voice over the Japanese, maybe I'll do that then. But that's going to be all basically dependent on how you guys respond. So, but anyway, then they came out. They came out one after another in the spotlight. A man named Yagihara came out first. His short orange hair is spiked up, and he has an old army coat over his skin. He runs lightly to the center of the stage and grabs the microphone. Hey, what's up? Oh my god, that feels weird to talk and hear the voice acting. Hey, what's up? We're Star Generation. We're playing second tonight. I'm gonna try to do some of the voices similar to their Japanese voices. Yeah, hopefully it isn't too strange. If it does seem too strange, I can just turn the voices off. So there's a huge applause just for that. He's not saying much, but the crowd loves it. He must be popular, just like a celebrity. Tanoya is standing next to Yagihara-san. He looks different. Maybe it's because he's not wearing glasses, or his hairstyle is different, or even because of the spotlight. He looks cool standing there with his guitar, waiting calmly for the music to start. They look impressive with all the cheering from the crowd. They are still amateurs, and one of them goes to my school. There's no reason to be impressed. I just don't know the theater culture, so I'm a little shocked. But I know better now. I won't be surprised like last time. That's what I say to myself before they start the show. I love the music in this game, though. It's like what attracted me to it, honestly. But they do surprise me. I'm upset about that. I lean against the wall of the theater, feel my heart beating fast. It startles me. Oh, here we go. That's apparently where I stopped last time. Can't tell but wow, this still feels really loud, actually, now that it's playing the music. Hang on. Let me lower that just a little. Can't tell if the music is great, or the atmosphere of the crowd is too enthusiastic. But it is Star Generation on the stage that made all this happen. See them through the moving black silhouettes of the crowd. The spotlight reflects on their sweat. I'm feeling disgusted at first. I don't like the high tension in the crowd, and the outlaw-looking fashion Yagihara-san is wearing, and the way they act offensively. But what's happening to me? I can't turn away from Yagihara-san's voice, and the way he sings. I'm completely into the music by the second song, where Tanoya has a guitar solo. I can't tell the difference between Tanoya and other guitar guy, Hoshino-san. I also like Charlie-san's bass and the drummer Nobu. I don't feel repelled about the crowd focusing on the stage, dancing to the music anymore. I'm not trying to memorize them, but I already know the names of the band members. I'm not sure about what's good and bad music. So if they make me surprised, that's my loss. I like living calmly and quietly. So, I don't like being jolted or impressed by something. Oh no. And punk slang. A young person, especially a member of a rebellious counterculture group, and an experienced young man. Well, you know, you can see the others there. Shikanosuke Maijima's lover called unexpectedly last night to break up with him. He spent the night lying awake, and in the morning he received an email from her. I will come over to return what I borrowed from you. Maybe this is the last time he'll ever see her. So Maejima-san, who just can't give up on her, decides to come up with a plan to somehow turn the situation around. To turn the situation around. I love when Japanese translations end up weird like that. As the appointed time draws near, he waits quietly by himself while getting everything ready, trying to predict the outcome. There will be a lot of that. This game is A, old, B, translated by people that I I think maybe don't have a full grasp on English, or at least didn't at the time. The game was made by Overdrive but published by Manga Gamer, and the stuff that Manga Gamer has published since has been like getting better and better. But this is one of their earliest projects, so then it begins. Oh my god, I recognize this scene here. Okay, so this game is made by Overdrive and published by Manga Gamer. They're also the company that did a game called Go Go Nippon. My first trip to Japan. If any of you have watched Game Grumps, they did play that at one point, so you might know it from that. This is the exact same background, though. Like, that game came out like 10 years later, and either they reused the backgrounds on the original version. I think they remade them in the 2016 or whatever the last update was. But I think in the original they used the same ones because it wasn't widescreen. And like this is the exact same background. So there are actually some of these backgrounds that are in Go Go Nippon that were reused from this game because this game came out in 2007. So it's really interesting because this is the room that is the two main characters' main living room and kitchen and stuff in Go Go Nippon. So Maejima-san is wandering around in the living room restlessly. He has dark circles under his eyes from lack of sleep. Today is a weekday, but it's winter break. The rest of his family is all out, so he's all alone at home. It's almost the end of the year, and perhaps their relationship is coming to an end as well. However, that's not what Maejima-san wants. Just a few minutes ago, there's another mail. I just left the house. Since then, he can't even sit still. He looks at the clock frequently and bites on his thumbnail. He tries to convince himself that God will help him if they're meant to be together, and he just does what he can. However, he can't shake his anxiety. He wishes she'd arrive soon, otherwise he will be exhausted by the time she gets here. Anyway, before she shows up, here's his plan. He thinks the reason why she wants to break up is because he didn't tell her about quitting the club. He has no proof, but that's what he thinks. The club is how they met. His school competed with her school in a practice game, and he was one of the star players. The relationship started when she confessed her feelings to him. He quit the club just a few days ago. He didn't mean to keep it a secret, but he just felt uncomfortable about telling her. However, he could tell she was getting suspicious because he was going home early lately. A secret can drive a wedge between people. He knew this all along. So his plan is to tell her the truth sincerely. He just has to tell her the truth. Sorry for not telling you this until now. First, he should apologize meekly. Then, he should follow up his sincere feelings. When she gets emotional and starts crying, that's the cue to ask for reconciliation. That's his plan. He has made her excited and made her cry before. He's confident he can carry out the plan calmly, even when she gets emotional. Things are easy when girls get emotionally moved. Not that he has much experience, but there is no doubt in his mind about that. Maejima-san desperately tries to convince himself. However, her voice on the phone last night sounded so serious. The tone of her voice told him that her mind was made up. She has her mind made up. Can you still change your mind even in this situation? It must be possible. Maejima-san is extremely confident. Or maybe he is putting up a bluff. His hands are shaking. He realizes it himself, but he's going to use the lack of sleep as his excuse. He can't control his emotions well because he didn't sleep last night. Maybe that will help him act boldly. Then there's a signal from the intercom. It's her. He mustn't act impatiently. Also, if any of you are kind of annoyed at the fact that it's like this gigantic freaking like full screen text box, don't worry. I hated this too. And it really gets annoying when you get some of these like white backgrounds with the white text, because the text isn't outlined, it's just shadowed. So there's really no good point, like there's no color you can make it. And you can set this color to anything in the system setting. But there's no like color you can make it or the text or anything that lets you like be able to read it very well. You can up the transparency, so that it's completely transparent or not transparent at all. But if you make it completely opaque, then you can't see the characters or what's going on in the background, and that's even more annoying. So this is just how it has to look, unfortunately. He goes to the front door at a normal pace. When he opens the door, she steps in apprehensively. Come in. There's something I need to tell you. Maejima-san wears a smile, but he is a nervous wreck on the inside. At this point, she might show reserve. That's okay, this is fine. When I'm done, I'll be going. Something like that. When he was going over each step in his head earlier, there are so many questions at this point. If she doesn't answer clearly, then that means there's an opportunity, and he mustn't waste the chance. Maejima-san anxiously waits for her response. Sure. What? She accepts unexpectedly and steps into the house. She proceeds into the room casually. Maejima-san feels a little disappointed as he leads her to his room, but continues with his plan. He sits her down on the pillow and chats for a little while, then broaches the main subject. Broaches? I don't even know what that means. He tells casually, yet sincerely, that he quit the tennis club. I think that's supposed to be he tells her casually. Then it's time for her response. Oh, really? She's drinking the juice on the table without changing her manner. What? Maejima-san can't help but feel disturbed. If this was a manga, that would be an extreme close-up scene. But she acts absolutely normal. She isn't even paying much attention to what he just said. What's going on? What if she doesn't show some kind of reaction? Negative, positive, surprised, some kind of emotional change? There's nothing he can do. And I'm only good at tennis, and besides, you told me that you like me playing tennis, so I don't know how to put this. This unexpected situation is making Maejima-san uncertain, but he tries to feel out her emotion. What? Why? I don't care what club you're in. She's showing her normal smile. Oh, okay, well, then I didn't need to worry about that. Ha ha ha. Maejima-san can't hide his disturbance. He never even thought he'd get this reaction from her. According to the plan, she should have gotten a little emotional by this time. Then he'd continue by talking about his feelings, even adding some memories to make her cry. But in this friendly, chatting situation, even emotional memories won't do anything. Even so, he gives it a shot. Say, do you remember one? His fears were on the money. She's full of smiles, listening to our memories. If this is how things are going, then quitting the club had nothing to do with breaking up. It isn't even an issue. Maejima-san was completely wrong. Anyway, according to the plan, she's supposed to be at her emotional climax by now, and he's supposed to ask her bravely to stay with him. However, the plan has already collapsed. Saying something like that in this situation is absolutely out of place. It's obvious. Should he continue with his original plan? Maejima-san decides to go through it all the way. Charging full steam ahead is all he can think of right now. How brave. Just like a Japanese army officer. Well, if you don't mind, would you still go out with me? Well, I mean, be my girlfriend again? He says it far from bravely. He doesn't sound anywhere as calm and forcefully as he planned. Maejima-san is obviously frightened. She thinks for a moment. I kinda technically didn't need to voice that one. She is taking rather long. Maybe that means... Sorry, can't go out with you anymore. Reality is hard. Maejima-san was expecting this response, but he still feels chills go down his spine when he hears her say it. So this is what being dumped is like. However, because she had to think so long, he still believes there's a chance. She was too sweet to answer right away. That's it. She knew the answer right away, of course. Stop, don't even go any further. He ignores his better judgment, screaming at him, and asks one more time. Her reaction is different this time. She answers without delay. Sorry, no matter what we do, I don't think we're meant for each other. Don't know exactly, but I think little things add up. That's what made me feel that way. Our personalities and other stuff. You know, I just think it's not going to work. Those isn't fatal words. Little things add up, not gonna work. Those are especially important words. It doesn't help that she's being vague. If there are specific issues, they can be solved. But if they are rather vague, then what's there to do? I have a message on Discord that is like trying to get my attention. And I don't know what it is. Oh, it was actually nothing important. But it was trying to get my attention real hard. Ramen noodles are too greasy. This is a problem that can be solved. You could just get less greasy ramen. I don't know why, but I just don't like ramen. But what about this? How can you convince someone to eat ramen if this is their complaint? Actually, I just don't want ramen. That's basically it. As long as Maejima-san is who he is, it's impossible. That's what it means. Maejima-san knew this from the beginning. When she showed no reaction to his confession about the club, he was convinced that she has absolutely no interest in him anymore. She doesn't care if he continues to play tennis. That's why she showed no reaction. There's no use. However, even if he knows there's nothing else to do, he just has to do this. They both know that's just him. The other party is simply thinking of him, and that's why she chose certain words to express her feelings. But that's not good enough for him. He dares to make her say it in a more direct way. Can you tell me more concretely? At what point did you start to feel that way? So is this what you mean? One after another, such cruel questions come out from Maejima-san's mouth. Of course, her response is prickly. Well, you assume everyone else has a dark side, just because you do. You pretend to think of other people, but in fact, you're only thinking about yourself. You may be saying the right things theoretically. You may be saying the right things theoretically, but you say things you shouldn't say. That line's right. I don't know. I just had trouble with that. You change your mind on a whim, even about important things. The bottom line is that you don't have a heart. Ouch, lady. Ouch. He knows those are his flaws, but it sounds so different hearing from someone else's mouth. She actually says quite a bit more, but for the sake of brevity and to spare his feelings, no more needs to be written. Oh, I see, I understand. Seemed like she wanted to say more, but that was more than enough. Maejima-san is forced to accept the absolute truth without listening to the end. He shows a fake smile, but he can't hide the damage. Shock from his failed plan, and also listening to his flaw shave, made him completely groggy. Flaw shave? I don't know what that means. But, you know, wasn't there some good stuff? He tried, but she is thinking really hard. You're sweet, but... She falls silent. Well, that's okay. Sorry. Maejima-san withdraws this question, then takes a deep breath once and bows. Thank you very much for everything, until now. Discord messages again. His meek attitude slightly puzzles her. I want to thank you too. They're both bowing down, sitting on their knees and putting their heads almost to the floor. They look like they just finished a shogi match. Well, everything is over. Maejima-san pulls out an envelope from the paper bag with the stuff she was taking home with her. The envelope contained a letter, which he wrote just in case if the plan failed. He was hoping that she would read it when she got home, and somehow his last plea would change her mind. He thought that even if they broke up after a heated discussion, if she read the letter after she calmed down, there might be a chance. Either way, he assumed things would be more emotional. But it didn't go that way at all. He hadn't expected this to happen. It would be freaky to read such a letter after parting this way. She can't read the letter. Although Maejima-san is groggy, he doesn't forget to protect himself. He puts the letter, which he spent 3 hours working on, into his pocket. Fortunately, she doesn't notice. Well, I'll walk you to the station. What? Don't you want to eat together? What? He really should decline the offer. Sure. At the place near the station? But he doesn't. He's too cowardly to do so. So, they go to the usual coffee shop. The conversation, the way they pay, everything is as usual. But they're breaking up. It doesn't feel real. Maybe it's not such a big deal to be going out. Maybe going out and breaking up aren't things to make a big fuss over. Their lunch is quite fun. Then she says, I couldn't sleep last night. Maybe she wasn't as calm about this as she pretended to be. Maejima-san feels a little happy. Were you a little nervous? What? What about? She looks confused. She seems not to understand. Maejima-san is disappointed. Maejima-san feels gloomy, so he decides to go shopping. He usually doesn't spend much money, but he feels like spending a lot today. His ex is going home. Shopping center is on the way to her house, so they get on the same train. There's one empty seat. His ex tells him to take the seat. He usually lets her take the seat, but he reminds himself that they've broken up, so he takes the seat. Then he realizes there are 2 empty seats in front of him. There's a seat over there. His ex takes the seat across from him. Maejima-san would move next to her, but they've broken up, so he stays where he is. She tilts her head looking puzzled while patting the empty seat next to her. Maejima-san asks if it's really okay, and she nods. He moves over. It's not like we're strangers. The ex says so while smiling bitterly. You're right. Then, under his breath, I'm so helpless. Why am I so frightened? Then they arrive at the station when they part. But there's no dramatic farewell. I never knew there's such a calm way to break up. Really? She's smiling. Yeah. You're weird. Wait, really? Is Maejima-san the strange one? He doesn't know. All he knows is that this is farewell. Perhaps forever. They go to different schools. They live far apart. There's no connection between them unless they go out. He feels this is an important moment, but she has no special feelings towards him anymore, so doing anything dramatic wouldn't be good. I love the upside down McDonald's symbol in the background over here. Maejima-san thinks about it for a little. You have to become happy. Also, this background is also used in Go-Go Nippon. He strokes her hair as he says it. It seems appropriate. Maejima-san repeats it twice. Now it looks like he's getting teary eyes. Oh no, this isn't good. There are a lot of people around. He's doing his best to stay calm, but Her eyes are getting red and there's something sparkly in her eyes. She's crying too. She wasn't okay inside after all. No point thinking about it. Have a nice New Year. With those words, he turns and runs. That was close. He goes to the shopping center. With the new year getting closer, the shops had beautiful decorations, waiting for the new year to arrive. That cheerful atmosphere hurts Maejima-san's heart. He doesn't feel like doing anything. He wants to go home, so he hops on the train. He comes home and he feels rather calm. Then he reflects. Things sure didn't go well today. Maybe he tried to act too much. Maybe he should have acted more maturely. Maybe that would have made things a little better. But he doesn't think it was a complete loss. The way they parted, maybe she might call again. It's important not to make a move himself. As he thinks, he realizes how calm he is being. Is he sad because he lost the girl he truly loves? Or is it because things didn't go as planned? He can't figure it out. Maybe coming up with such questions proves that he is heartless. He doesn't think so himself, but I guess others see him that way. It's why he was dumped. The more he thinks about it, the more confused he gets. So even though it's a little past lunchtime, he goes to bed. This human being is me, Shikanosuke Maejima. I will be narrating the story, which is about to begin. I hope you'll stay with me until the end. Kira. Aw yeah. Cold winter has ended, and the season has changed to spring. The new school year starts. I'm now a grade higher. Now you might understand why I was doing the voice for Maejima while reading that. Because it was him. It was him narrating that section. Which really confused me the first time I played it. But I was like, oh, I love the way they transitioned there. That was so cool. I hop on the bicycle and start to pedal toward the orange sun. The warm spring breeze makes the cherry blossom petals fly around, which get stuck between the creases on my jacket. When I pick them up and bring them closer to my nose, I can smell their nice scent. I'm going to try to actually read it properly and not the mistranslations. How tasteful. I must be an elegant guy. When the new year started, I decided to travel abroad during the summer break. After I quit the club, I got a part-time job after school. When I started to make money myself, I realized there really isn't anything I wanted to buy. When I was going out on dates, I was using money for that. And once I broke up, I didn't have any other way to spend my money. That's how I came up with the traveling abroad plan. I don't have any special reasons. I thought of it just because young people often go on trips. I don't know where I want to go yet, but the stylish European countries aren't really for me. I also don't feel like vacationing in cheerful Hawaii. Besides, if I went to the US, I feel like I would be shot for no reason. I know it's a prejudice based on wrong information, but I'd rather go to where I want to go. Maybe India or Southeast Asia. Remember, this is occurring in Japan, so Southeast Asia may not be safe, but I like the ethnic food, such as curry. Even stupid Murakami said he likes places like that. If I ask him to go along, he might. How fun. The only thing that concerns me is that this sounds like a trip to find myself. People would think I'm going on an Indian trip because I'm heartbroken from breaking up with my girlfriend. I really don't mean to, but maybe that's what I want deep down. Maybe if that's the case, I don't like it. But if that's the case, I don't like it. Oh well. Whatever it is, having a goal makes everyday living more meaningful. That's for sure. If I stay at home doing nothing, I feel like I'm such a worthless existence. Maybe I am worthless, but I don't want to like that. Well, it's not that crucial whether my existence has any meaning at this point. I don't want to waste my time while I'm young. How boring it must be to just turn old. I don't care what it is that I do. I don't care if I get dumped again. I want to find a girlfriend. As I think it over, I head to my part-time job. When the setting sun turns into a beautiful orange ball, I arrive at Taisho Restaurant where I work. Also, sorry if I'm butchering any of these Japanese names. I have played through this once, and so I have heard a lot of the names when they're voice acted, but like Taisho, for example, is not. And I have done some studying on Japanese pronunciation, but that doesn't necessarily mean I know it. So, employees can't park their bicycles in the parking area. So, although it's inconvenient, I have to take my bicycle to the narrow alley to park in the employees' parking area. I push my bicycle carefully so it doesn't scrape the concrete wall. When I get to the parking area, I see someone. There's a girl in a uniform standing there all alone. Excuse me? I love her, by the way. She's my favorite. She speaks up in what's barely more than a mumble. Who knows where she gets her hair cut? Her hair is bunched up rather roughly, and the ends are flipping everywhere. Her dewy eyes under the bang are looking at me. Fun fact, even though the character has brown hair here, they will actually always refer to it as black hair, which I think is really an interesting way of doing it. It's the idea that protagonists are therefore special colored hair, but in reality, in the world that they're in, they actually would just be normal Japanese characters that look like normal Japanese people. So, what is she doing here? Her anxious appearance reminds me of a stray kitten trying to hide in a small, narrow, dark space. But that can't be. There must be more decent reason. Though she looks immature, she is wearing Oubi Academy school uniform. That's where I go. I don't mean to brag, but it's a pretty decent school. It actually is popular in the area for being a good school. However, there are always some odd ones at every school. I'll just let that one go. She's so nervous she can't even find the words. I mean, that's literally what it was. She might be very shy, but the way she's acting is rather strange. What is it? I try to help her along. Then, as if it was a cue, the girl starts talking in a rush. I'm starting today. My name is Kirari Shiino. It's very nice to meet you. As soon as she finishes her line, she bows deeply. Her short hair stands up because of gravity. Although actually, yeah, she did technically say Shiino Kirari because Japanese. It's interesting that they translated it and then, like, swapped all the names around, which can make things a little confusing if you don't know Japanese. Or it might actually make it more confusing if you do know Japanese. So, I guess she isn't suspicious, but she sure is strange. Ah, okay, so you're new. Yes! I see. Come to think of it, I guess the manager was saying something like that. Isn't there anyone inside? Am I the first one to get here? Yes, there isn't anyone. I see. I guess everyone else is late. The kitchen people should be here by now getting things ready. Sometimes on weekdays, they are a little late. Today must be one of those days. Unless the kitchen people are here, the hall people can't get in. The only hall people who have the key are the few full-time people. But I am one of the employees who has the key, so there's no problem. However, I haven't checked if she was in fact a new employee. Whoops. I wonder if I should trust her, but I can't just leave her out here by herself. Okay, please follow me. If you stand out here in the dark like this, people might call the police. Yes! After I park my bicycle, I open the back door with the key. Right by the back door is the space with the glasses and the beer Ugh. That is not written right. Right by the back door is a space where the glasses and the beer servers, where we make, yep, I have no idea what that's trying to say, which the employees call the back. Since it's before the opening, it's quiet, and the sound of the refrigerator motor echoes, which is slightly spooky. I reach the light switch on the right wall and turn it on. There's one thing we have to be careful about. The moment after the lights are on, there are usually some slow cockroaches hiding. Girls often scream because of that. I, personally, am more scared of screaming girls than cockroaches. I look around quickly to make sure there's nothing for the girl to be frightened, then let her in. I'm coming in. She comes in rather fearfully. She is freaking adorable, though. I seriously love her. She's honestly my favorite. I lead her into the locker room. Although it's called that, it's actually a tiny storage room. I give her the jinpai, Japanese casual wear, with the restaurant's name on it and tell her to change into it. Sorry, it's a messy room. By the way, were you told that you need to wear pants instead of a skirt when you work? Yes, no need to worry. I brought a pair. She pulls out her pants from her bag as she answers me. Good. Then please change into them. Also, change your shoes, too. The manager should be here soon. Then, let's see. Shiino-san, you're a student at Oubi school, right?
Hi!
Hi, yes. I just said hi. Wow. I thought Oubi didn't allow part-time jobs. No. That's so... It's okay. I'm allowed to worry. She waves her hands as she panics. I should have let that finish. Oh well. Well, I don't mean to accuse you or anything. It's just that maybe you shouldn't come to work in your uniform starting tomorrow. Maybe people won't notice normally, but if you come in your uniform, it might be different. Okay. She looks downcast. Don't worry, I go to Oubi too. I'm an accomplice. Accomplice. Why did I say that weird? Accomplice. Really? Yes, my name is Maejima. I'm in the 3rd grade. Pleased to meet you. Yes, me too. I'm Shino Kirari. I'm in class 3A. Very nice to meet you. I'll do my very best. Then she bows deeply again. She lifts her head up quickly. Anyway, the restaurant looks so fun. I like fun places. She looks happy. She is definitely a little strange. Same school in the same grade, huh? Then you'll be perfect. For that, the manager assigns me as Shino Kirari's caretaker. I'm gonna try to swap it so that it's proper, just because I kind of prefer that. Also, even though it is written Kirari Shiino, I do read it backwards, just because I know that it's supposed to be backwards. For that, the manager assigns me as Shino Kirari's caretaker, but our school has nothing to do with it. He always appoints me as the caretaker of new employees. The thought is in my head, but I don't say anything. Besides, you're good at teaching. Since I keep silent, the manager tries to come up with an excuse. He must feel guilty. If he has to come up with excuses, then he should find someone else. But I don't mind teaching others, so I won't complain. So as I work my shift, I teach her how to clean, how to make drinks, how to cut lemons and limes, and also how to take orders. How long she lasts at this job depends on how she's taught at the beginning, so I take it seriously. She takes notes with a cute pencil in her hand. I like such a diligent attitude. Really? Usually when a new employee finds out a young guy like me is teaching, he gets overly friendly. That's the case especially with girls. Time flies by quickly. Today is before payday, so we didn't have too many customers. We take lunch break together. We go into the back room, which is hidden from the dining room, to eat our curry meals. Kirari must be still in work mode, because every time she hears customers or employees buzzing, she starts to get up. Better get some rest. The break is short. Hi. Yes. Then Kirari faces her curry. When I see her pick up her spoon, I start to eat myself. Also, I think this is a legitimate picture of like real curry, just saying. The curry has chunks of beef, has some authentic spices, just like the real Indian curry, but it's arranged to make sure it goes with white rice. Chef must have spent more than enough time on ingredients than he should on an employee's meal. Today isn't a good day, and that's exactly the kind of day when we can expect to eat good employee meals. Since the chef has plenty of time, he spends time fixing employee meals. When I peek into the kitchen, Yoshizumi-san is looking at me with a grin. I know for a fact that sometimes he places an order to get some ingredients which he doesn't need for the menu. Some time ago, I had to listen to him talk about how he couldn't serve the customers good meals if he couldn't eat a good meal himself. This sounded good, but at the same time it also sounded like he was coming up with excuses for eating better things than the customers. Anyways, today's curry is delicious, and I finished mine quickly. Kirari must not like spicy food. She's puffing while she eats. So, how's your first day going so far? She put her spoon down. I'm so touched. There's the actual uniform for the restaurant here, as you can see. Touched? That's an unexpected word. You know, every time I start a part-time job, I always get scolded. This is the first time I got taught so kindly. Gotta love how Japanese can just be longer than English. As she speaks, she starts to get teary eyes, but it can also be the opposite. It can be much shorter. Really? Hi! Yes! I know I am being polite, but I'm not doing anything that special. For her to be so delighted, what kind of jobs has she had in the past? I see. Oh, by the way, you don't have to use the polite manner when you talk to me. We're the same age after all. Yes, sure, okay. Then she takes a drink. But I'm so happy. You know, I'm so clumsy compared to other people. I already broke so many glasses today. Kirari's shoulders sag a little. That's how it is at the beginning. But even the manager was laughing, saying I've never seen someone this bad. Well, he did break quite a bit. We had to throw away a whole box worth of glasses just during the first half of her shift. Especially the moment where she flipped a tray full of clean glasses was pretty bad. If it wasn't for that, you are just a little more clumsy than normal, I think. As I say so, I realize I'm not helping the situation. Thank you for everything today. I'm happy that you're so kind. I'm sure I'll be fired today. I don't think so. If she'd broke a box worth of glasses one by one, then I'm sure she'd get fired. But that isn't the case. But if I continue, my loss will be more than what you earn. It's true that she makes lots of mistakes. But that'll decrease as long as you keep trying. I think you'll be okay. Really? You're cheerful and diligent, so I think you'll learn quickly. I think you're better at customer service than I am. When I told my family that I'd be working customer service, everyone said, "That's not you. You shouldn't even try." Actually, I thought so myself, but I was mortified to hear that from my own family, so I made myself work hard. I mean, whatever motivates you, I guess. I think it's a special talent to be able to smile, to have a smile on your face all the time. Do you have that talent, Shiino-san? I will agree. I hated working customer service. But I'm not cheerful. I'm so gloomy. I always think about gloomy things. Kirari is desperately denying it. I was just being honest, but I guess you took it as flattery. Well, anyway, I don't think you'll be fired on your first day. So the manager was laughing, but he isn't like that. When I made a mistake, all he said was, "Are you sure you want to work?" That manager loves sarcasm. Come to think of it, maybe the reason why I don't mind training new employees is because when I was taught by the manager, I was so depressed. But now, I get to even keep the key to the restaurant. I guess putting in effort sure is worth it. Of course, There are things that effort can't overcome, so I can't force anyone to put in effort. Indeed, even after I put in effort, I was dumped.
振られる?
Dumped? No, never mind. I changed the subject in a hurry. Come on, you better finish the rest. You won't last the rest of the evening without a meal.
Maejima-kun って
Maejima-kun,
優しい.
you're so sweet. She takes a bite with a smile. This is
辛いけど美味
spicy,
しいね.
but delicious. She smiles at me with a sweaty face. I seriously love Kirari. She's my favorite character. Today was a slow day. Even toward the end of the evening, there weren't any customers. So Kirari and I were let go at 9. Others usually complain about the sudden schedule change, saying, I made time for this. But I don't mind. Actually, I'm happy for getting a little extra time before bedtime. Let's see. We are at 51 minutes. This is kind of a transition. So I think I will go ahead and cut this episode off here. So I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check the video description down below for a link to the playlist. That way you can get caught up on any episodes you might have missed, even though there are currently no episodes. I usually have a different outro for the first episode, and I totally whiffed it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. See you later.